We had a really interesting project this week. Flat Out was approached by a guy called Phil who owns a drop-dead gorgeous 1973 Ferrari Dino. But the car itself has a really interesting story attached to it. Phil bought this thing, sold it, and then 19 years later managed to buy it back for a lot more money than he sold it for, obviously. And within its lifetime it has had something like 18 owners, but it is still in absolutely immaculate condition. And Phil wanted us to help him tell the story of his car, because he has written a book called Dino Days where he talks about classic car ownership. Just about the Dino, he actually goes into depth about his family and how they were all obsessed with collecting cars, classic cars, not least his brother, who owns an epic collection of vehicles. And his brother actually appeared in GoldenEye thanks to his DB5. And there is a story of his wife meeting a location scout. They got chatting, location scout was talking about the requirement of a DB5, and she said, oh, my husband's got one, and lo and behold, he then ends up spending a month in Monte Carlo as a stand-in basically for Pierce Brosnan, driving his own DB5, and he was telling us some great stories about how his brother has to wear glasses, obviously Brosnan doesn't, so the director just said, look mate, you're going to have to pull up outside this casino in your car without wearing your spectacles. So that took something like 6 or 7 takes to get it right. Thankfully he didn't crash it into the side of a casino, but still, you know, what a cool story. And it's just really nice to kind of share his enthusiasm for cars, and you can tell that the whole kind of petrol head thing just runs through their whole family, and all of them I think have dedicated their lives to just kind of buying and selling really interesting vehicles, and it's just, you know, nice to spend a day with someone like that and find out more about them. So in true Flat Out style, we took this Dino to some of our favourite top secret locations. Phil was really cool. He turned up in the car and was just like, look, we've got all day to do what you want. It's very difficult to get an ugly angle of this car. It's so photogenic. We got really lucky with the weather, the sunlight bouncing off the curves. I mean, I personally think this is one of the most beautiful Ferraris ever made. In its Rosso red, it was just stunning. We took Flat Out's trusty Amrock pickup with us to provide support, and the Comex guys obviously got involved, set up the cameras in the back, did some cool tracking shots on some nice quiet roads. Also got the drone up, which we think looks really cool in the final video. And yeah, basically just spent a day with Phil, getting to know him, getting to know the story of the car, and just helping him tell that story.
I'm Phill Brigstock, and I've written a book called Dino Days. I wanted to write the book to get it off my chest and to get something out there for my kids and my family and my friends to see what I've been up to over all these years. Just as much to try and help the Sporting Bears charity. So all the profits from this book will be going to the Sporting Bears charities. I've owned this Dino twice, and I bought it initially in '92. As soon as I got it, I put it into a concourse event for the Ferrari Owners Club, and it won first in its class, so I was very proud of that. And I kept it for about 5 years. So when my twins came along, I thought I'd better be sensible and sell something and put the money into a house and rent it out and earn some income to help with the costs of the kids. I decided to sell the Dino in '97, I believe it was, and pretty much as soon as I did, I always regretted it. And of all the cars I've had, it was always the one that at the back of my mind I really, felt silly having sold. So in late 2016, my brother Chris, he knew that I'd been sort of vaguely keeping an eye open for a Dino, and he spotted one going through auction. So he pointed it out to me, and I did a bit of research and found that it happened to be my old car. I managed, eventually a bit of negotiation to buy the car, not at the auction, but just after. A fool that I am, I paid 6 times what I sold it for in '97, but that's how classic car prices have gone, and I am that stupid, so that's fine. But it's, it's just, I'm so glad that I bought the car back.
Obviously this was a really good opportunity to go and film a classic car, really beautiful thing that's just so nice to capture on video and in stills. But also the reason we kind of took the project on was because Phill told us that all of the profits from his book are going to go to a charity that involves kids and involves giving them amazing experiences by taking them out in sports cars and making their day, making their years. So yeah, for us that was a no-brainer really. Help him out, help the charity out, everyone's a winner.